Hi guys, this journal is complete and ready to show you, finally. And I'm so excited to show you because I love it. I love how it's turned out. It started off, I was going to use it as a quote journal, then it quickly evolved into more collage, which is what I have found that I tend to like the most. And I tend to layer a lot, so it got a little bit chunky. I even had to take out some of the pages, and some of the pages aren't even finished. There was a couple that I just left blank as they are. You'll see that as we flip through. Now, I'm not going to talk about the construction of the journal too much, because there is a flip through on my channel of it when I made it, and it talks a little bit about the construction of it, but it's 3 signatures, traveler's notebook size, sewn on the sewing machine, the cover that was made out of upholstery type fabric, and the closure is just dyed seam binding ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to chat through the video as best as I can for you so that I can tell you a little bit about how I made the pages. Don't forget, if you just want to flip through, you can change the settings on your YouTube settings and speed the video up and just turn off the sound, and you can flip through it quite quickly if that's what you like. So if I open her up, you'll see how come I had to stop, because I can't actually sort of work in it anymore because it's just too fat. It's even going to be a bit hard to show you the pages as we go through because I can't really open it up flat to show you, so I'm going to have to prop it up a little bit, but I'm sure you'll get the gist of everything. Okay, so the first page is just left as it was. I love the Tim Holtz paper when he had those 12 by 12 paper pads. I just love them, so I just left it as it was. I thought it was cute just like that. And this is a label off of Graphics Fairy. I tried to make this journal French themed, so I had a lot of blue images and things and journaling cards and tuck spots. That's why it's a sort of a blue theme mostly through it. That was what it was originally before I started using it. And then I started using it as a quote journal to start off with, but then I wasn't really feeling that, and I didn't take the time to make my writing pretty or anything, so I kind of just left it on the shelf, and just sort of sat there for so long that I decided, once I decided to use it again, I was into mostly collage, so I just changed it and started using it as a collage journal instead. This background here was actually the coffee dyeing pattern that my dehydrator made. Just a bit of lace there on the tab and a charm. This is where you can see I don't take a lot of time to do really lovely writing, so that's probably why I don't like how it turns out, is because I don't take the time to do lovely lettering. One day when I'm not working full-time, maybe I'll take the time to learn more lettering. I know I can do it if I do take the time, because I've got examples of it in my daily journals, but I haven't done that for ages, so yeah. Anyway, so just a few quotes there, and then I moved on to collage. In fact, this page here is just me covering up some writing that I really didn't like. So this is a napkin or a serviette, and I have glued that on because I like doing that sometimes because you can feel the texture of the serviette, and I think it's quite cool. A few stamps, postage stamps. I've got quite a collection of original old postage stamps, so I like to put those in. And this quote here is just from Tim Holtz Clippings. It says, "She really thought she meant it." So I love to do quick collages and then grab a quick word, and I do that with using Tim Holtz Clippings sticker books, the Big Chat, the Chit Chat, and the Small Talk. So loving the Small Talk because they're quite, positive quotes that you can just put on your pages, and I'm sure many of you have seen those, but I really love them. They're really cool. So on to the next page, and this one is simple. Used a lot of Tim Holtz paper dolls in here too, as you will see. So this is a paper doll, and then another clipping sticker. This is the background there is just the book page that I've used in the journal signature itself. And then these are just from Graphics Fairy. This is a journaling card tuck spot. So I haven't journaled anything on there yet. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Then more journaling cards that were originally tucked into the book when I made it. This is just a little wine bottle label that I've put on that little tag. Here's another small talk sticker. It says there is beauty in simplicity, and this is a layering piece from one of Tim Holtz's layering piece pack. I think that's the botanical pack. This is a charm from him as well, and just some collage book page and music on the back. This is washi tape in the background and some stamped butterflies, some pieces out of Tim Holtz layering packs, and a paper doll. It's an altered playing card. And this piece just reminded me of a teacher my husband always talks about, and he always says, "Has the penny dropped yet?" Apparently this teacher used to say that a lot. So my husband says it a lot, in jest of course. And so I thought, well, that went with it. So I just made this quote myself out of my label maker and popped that in. Distress them up a bit. And then this one is just collage pieces. This is napkin or serviette backings over top of glossy pages, and so it's given it that sort of more distressed look. And I do have a video on ways you can distress or make your glossy pages more vintage looking, and I'll put that in the description box below as well. These images are from the Tim Holtz Found Relatives pack. I love those too. They're great vintage images. The clipping stickers. This one says Hidden by the Shadows, and this one says There is Nothing Simpler. This is a real peacock feather, a real leaf, some lace, and some trim. And there's some embossed paper there. Love that. Love how that turned out. It's really cool. And then this one is another way to take the glossiness off a glossy book page or magazine image. This is just some muslin-y type material laid over the top, and I think it looks really cool. That's in that video as well if you would like to see how I did that. This is out of Daphne's diary, and this is one of Tim Holtz's chit chat stickers that went with it, I thought. It says she wanted no reminder of realities and responsibilities. She just wanted to drink tea. This image here is out of a book on scarves, a vintage book on tying scarves. So I thought that was really cool. Tim Holtz layering piece behind there, and a doily, some fabric, just little bits and pieces stuck behind there to collage it, and then some fabric snippets. And then this is actually, I think that will be the big chipboard quotes from Tim Holtz. And this one says, be brave with your life, and this says, make it count, time will fly. So I thought those two went together because we've got a clock here, we've got the young lady, and if I was talking to my daughter, I'd say, be brave with your life, make your choices, and just go for it, because time will fly, and before you know it, you'll be old, and might be too late. If you know what I mean. Anyway, all mothers have words of wisdom that their daughters never listen to. So anyway, It's in the journal. Right, so the next page is actually this lady here. Her name is Lynn. She's a real person. She is a local icon, and she's a hairdresser. So she's my hairdresser's mother. And I just think she's amazing because she just lives her life the way she wants to, and she wears all these really far out things. She's got all these bangles up her arms. She's got rings all over her fingers, and even on her fingernails she's got rings, and she just lives the way she wants. So I just thought this clipping here just went with it for some reason. I was trying to be funny, but it says nice girl from a good home. And then over here I've got an altered playing card, and these are hydrangea flowers, obviously. They're pressed flowers from my garden, and there's some diamantes sticking in the middle. And then I've got a stamp here, stamp and die cut dragonfly, and the words say "Be you bravely." And that's just sitting on top of the music page. Left that music page blank, and this was an index card that I had collaged on and just stuck in there. It says, "Do all the good you can." This is actually my great-grandfather. He went to Gallipoli, and so when New Zealand and Australia celebrate Anzac, we always pull out these photos, and the poppies go with the Anzac celebrations for Gallipoli. And it's just in memory of that terrible loss of life and sacrifice that they went through. My great-grandfather came back, and then he got sent over again, and luckily he came back again because otherwise I wouldn't be here. So that's kind of cool. And then over here I've got a sort of an ode to the families that were left behind and the hard times that they went through when all the guys were off at war, and the mothers that stood back and tended the fires, so to speak. So I've just done that with my label maker. Together we stand. And there's another poppy journaling card there, and that's some of that lace flower again. This one says perfectly charming, and here's just little bits and bobs. These were actually just little bits of scrap I had on my desk, and I just laid them down, and I kind of liked how it turned out, so I put this lady on top of some Tim Holtz tissue paper, and there's some of Tim Holtz's flowers. It's just a number 6 die cut out of book page, and yeah, that was pretty cool, that page. And this is gold foiled that I ran through the embossing machine with embossing folder. This one is cast of characters, again out of the clippings, books, and this one says keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable. So really cool quotes, I think, from Tim Holtz to use. Some more hydrangeas out of my garden, some more layering of just little pieces. This is the tickets out of the ticket booth die set from Tim Holtz. This is just some freebies I found on the internet, and just layering it up. And the more you stick in your journal, the more crumpled and everything pieces get, but I like it. It kind of gives it more age and feel. It's really cool. Yeah. So here's some sort of dyed paper. I think I was probably trying to attempt marbling paper, but it didn't work. So I used it in the junk journal. This is embossed milk bottle carton, and I do have a video on using those milk bottle cartons. It's really cool paper. This is the silver. It's kind of like a matte silver that you're left with when you die cut out of that milk bottle. Not milk bottle, what do you call it? The Tetra Paks that soya milks and everything come in. I used to drink a lot of that, so I had quite a lot. I've still got quite a lot to use, but I don't drink it anymore. So yeah. And that just says love you. Just a little embossed square with some lace, with the little girl sitting there looking cute. I just had some circles left over from a project that I chucked in there, and these are from a magazine, or not a magazine, it's probably that book to all wonderful things to cut and collage. Yeah, I think so anyway. And this reminded me of my grandson. So I said this is what the family looks like. It just looks like grandma and her grandson. These are some die cuts, and the background is just what turned out when I baked my papers, the tea-dyed paper. And the little girl is obviously the Tim Holtz paper doll. With brave wings she flies. I just thought she looked like she was flying, so that was cool, and it kind of went with the butterfly that I put on this card. Just a little bit of collage. This again is the Tim Holtz cardstock, and I just left that blank because I love the paper, but also because I just ran out of room to be layering up any more pieces, so that's cool. Just left it as it was. And this is just a tuck, and I've used the negative space from a die cut to make that journaling card. Tuck that up in there, journaling card in there. This is another one of those ladies from the book of how to tie scarves, the vintage book on how to tie scarves, and I put this in made this from my label maker, but I didn't press that properly, so it says just be you. This is a chicken feather from my chickens in my garden. So yeah, some more collage of the scraps on my desk. I've stamped on scraps using the Tim Holtz Field Notes stamp set, and I've printed that off the internet, this moth, and I just thought it went well with the page, so I popped that on there. And I put this little boy in his own little framed box. That's a jelly printed paper I made, and some stitching on my machine. And I put a red frame around it because I just thought it made him pop out. And then just a little tab that I've made out of some scrap there. Here's some collaged napkin or serviette. I've used glue stick there, I can tell because I can feel the texture. A little hydrangea petal there. This is a Tim Holtz doll. And challenge the world, it says, and then leave a little sparkle wherever you go. The flowers are cut from a book I have that is all the floral images have been painted by Joyce Blake, who's a famous New Zealander, so I really like using her images. This is me experimenting with paint and bits of scrap cardstock, so I just left it like that, and I thought that went well as well, and went well with the black here, and it just says I feel so lucky. And this is a book of birds I've got that I cut that from, fussy cut it from, and just left that plain with the tea-dyed splotches just as they were as they came out of the oven. More collage with Tim Holtz ribbon, sorry, not Tim Holtz ribbon, the Tim Holtz butterflies, and scrap bits of sari silk ribbon. So the butterflies are out of the Botanicals paper pack. Lots of images that are fussy cut around, and just made clusters collages out of them. This is some coloured stamping, and then just lay it up with some fabric. This is a tag which I have stuck down because I quite like just sticking the tags down. kind of framed just nicely in a traveller's notebook size. And it says be brave, and so the image there is from Tim Holtz Found Relatives, but I put embossing powder over it and embossed it so it kind of looks all kind of aged there. And here I'm having a go with some watercolours to do some more background. This is a stamp of some skeleton leaves, and that's a real skeleton leaf there in the middle. And some more stamped things from Tim Holtz. That's the ticket booth and the field notes again. I use these quite a lot. A little cluster in the corner, botanical layer, and a paper doll. Here's just some collage clusters. A butterfly. That's fabric. Fabric's actually been put down onto packing tape to make it easier to cut with the die cutting machine, and then I just sewed it through the black cardstock and then glued her on. No words on that one. This one here, I have cut the photograph, which was from the Found Relatives pack. I've cut it up to make it look like it's sort of looking through a window. Sort of like he's in prison, I guess. And he's got a butterfly on his hair, and it says if they were let to fly. And then this one here is from one of my first stamp sets from Tim Holtz, and it's got the Eiffel Tower in it. So I stamped that on book page, and I stamped the butterflies onto book page and just had them coming around the couple. And ordinary people can do extraordinary things. Love using those quotes. They're just always so positive and or funny, and just think it's kind of cool. And here I've just got one of those Joyce Blake florals out of one of her books and popped it there. This is a vellum pocket. That's a printable from Artie Mays, and this is a collage tag. I would have done that really early on, probably one of the first ones I did, so I just popped it in there. Then I had these stickers that I wasn't happy with. They were see-through kind of stickers of stamps, and they'd been hanging around for ages, so I just stuck them in here. And then I used the Big Chat stickers to say just made something up out of the words, and it says magnify your every little joy. So I'd put a few of these music sheets and I'd left them white, and I'd seen other people do that and I thought it looked really cool. But when I use them in myself, I don't really like having the white page, so I've covered most of them up. But this one I've sort of tried to leave a little bit showing. And so that's just a collage tag I've put in there and some stamping on the background, and then it says she dreamed beautiful dreams under the cover of the rain. And this piece here was from the $2 shop, and it's a metal sort of embellishment, but I could never find something to go in it, and so I've just put some glitter in there. I don't know if you can see, but it's super shiny and glittery. And this here is a magazine image that I attempted to distress, and it was one of those days where I was having one of those days where I just wanted to scream at everyone, and the quote just sort of popped out at me, and it says, remind me of the happiness. This here is some junk of some flowers. It was plastic. It's a plasticky sort of mesh, yeah, which I thought would look quite cool behind there. This here is me playing with some napkins, serviettes, and I thought I would try and lay them up in squares and see what it looked like. And I've stamped here on some book page and just coloured it in with some watercolour pencils. Contented spirit, curiously you will find it. That's from the clippings. This is a Maidenhair Fern, and I've glued that down with matte medium. This is a pocket with a journaling tag in there, again not journaled on yet. This is some pockets as well, and the Tim Holtz paper that I've just left as it is because I like it. This is just some printed script page, I think it was, but then when I distressed it all and spritzed it, it all sort of ran, but it turned out kind of cool. And then I have also spritzed it with Perfect Pearls, so it's got a bit of a shimmer as well, and that is just some stamping, which I really like that stamp. This is a layered tag. Here I am playing with that watercolour again for the background, and then this is also by Joyce Blake, and it's a building drawn. And then, like I say guys, I'm a messy crafter, so you can probably see all the glue over the sky after I've laid him in. He's gets glue all over him. And this one here is some of the clipping stickers, and it says "Longing for a Simplified Life." I think it's a mixture of the chat and the clippings. Here we go with a piece of napkin, and that's "Believe in Yourself. Today is full of possibilities." And here's a die cut butterfly. Here's some pressed flowers, lavender, that I have sealed down with some napkin. I also have a video on that if you'd like to check that out. So on this side I've put a matching butterfly and just did some stenciling. I decided to leave that page because this page was quite busy, so it was a nice contrast. And I've got every detail of their journey, and these are just various different pieces of pattern paper. This one actually looks like wallpaper. It's got some sort of texture too, but it is just pattern paper, and I got it from the dump shop. There's a New Zealand stamp in the background and a ticket. And this here is a Tim Holtz stamp, but I've stamped it on some scraps cardstock and then just went over it with distress ink and glossy accents. I did a couple of experiments actually, one with glossy accents and one with clear embossing powder, and I like them both, so I don't know which one was which now, but yeah, I think they look quite cool. Have a little bit of gloss and shine. And then this one here is another collage, and there's just a ticket kind of clipped on there, ticket shape. And this is a Joyce Blake floral that I've fussy cut and put on top of some collaged book pages and things. And this one says "Good things are going to happen." But before you get there, and I'm going to probably add a little tabs to these so that you can get the idea that they have got something behind them. And here we go. This one says "Listen to your heart. It will show you the way." And then good things are going to happen. This one is just some Graphics Fairy images that I found while I was cleaning up my craft room, and I decided to use them and stick them in here. This is I went to a craft conference thing, and the little background what do you call them? Placemats that they had this beautiful floral image, so I thought it went with this journal, so I popped it in. Here's me trying to play with watercolors, trying to do flowers. And then a Joyce Blake image. So that's a local hotel in Thames, which is quite close to here, which we do visit Thames a lot, so was kind of cool to use that image. And Tim Holtz paper doll. Quite like the paper dolls sitting on buildings. They look larger than life and obviously not right proportions, but I think it looks cute. And this one says, "No beauty shines brighter than that of a good heart." This one here is a Joyce Blake image once again, but I've printed that out not on cardstock but on just ordinary paper, and when I've glued it in with matte medium, it's sort of blended into the paper, and I quite like how that worked. And then some stenciling in the background. This is some suede type fabric underneath her wings, and again cutting that out with the Big Shot and a die cut butterfly, and it works really, really well when you put some packing tape behind it. Some tickets there for her to stand on, and it says, "Go where your heart takes you." Here's just some of the hydrangea flowers. I just popped them all in, why not? But when I did that matte medium to put this in, some of the colours bled through to here, but that's okay. I don't mind that. Old perfectionist me would have probably screamed, but I don't care anymore. It just still looks cool to me. And this is one of the pages that I have left blank because I ran out of space. And then here we go is some tickets I've used as a border. Just chop them in half vertically down and use that as a border. And then I've used one of my my little bookmark tag things and popped that in. Just framed it nicely. This is some wrapping paper scrap. Popped it on with washi tape and got some of the Big Chat stickers and made up a thing. It just says, "Beautiful dreams keep possibility alive." This is me playing with the milk carton again with that die cut from Stampin' Up. So that's just a little notebook, which I could do collages on here, but if I wanted to, but I didn't. And then this is just a layered sort of piece of paper with some French label printed on it, which is quite cool. And I've inked that resist paper from Tim Holtz, very, very old pack, that one. I bought it secondhand, so it's probably years and years old. And here's some more wrapping paper. These are some blingy bits that aren't really my style, but I just thought, well, when I was cleaning up my craft room one time, I just thought, I'll just put them there. That'll do. This is some washi tape samples. And this is a napkin, which I have glued with glue stick. Another blank page. And this is just some layered tags that are good for journaling spots. And here's a pretty simple page because I was making these frames out of the milk carton for my video demonstration of it, and then I just put it there and I never thought what I was going to put behind it. So I just kind of picked up some scraps, die cuts that I haven't used, and some ribbon, and then I've got a quote, the most beautiful thing, because I was just thinking the most beautiful thing is when you have your own babies, and that lovely, lovely love that you have for your own babies, your own children. And yeah, I left that really plain. And that's that. So that's the end of the book with the pockets and journaling cards that it came with. These were going to be sort of writing cards so that I could pop them, and they have come in handy actually. I've used them when I've stamped directly in the book. So you just kind of put it behind where you're gonna stamp, and it helps to kind of flatten the page a bit once it's starting to get really chunky. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, that lets me know that these videos are worth doing for you. I would hate to be making videos if I thought they were no good. So please give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe. That'd be amazing. Thanks. See you next time.